July 1939, Warsaw, Poland. 5 weeks before German invasion. 3 Polish mathematicians sat across from stunned British and French intelligence officers, demonstrating a machine that could decode German military communications in hours. The British had spent a decade trying to break Enigma and failed. The French had given up entirely. The Poles had been reading German secrets for 7 years, and nobody knew. 1926. Germany begins distributing Enigma machines to its military, an encryption device so sophisticated that mathematicians calculated it would take longer than the age of the universe to crack by brute force. Each keystroke could be encoded 159 quintillion different ways. British intelligence obtained an Enigma machine in 1927 and assigned their best cryptographers to break it. After 2 years, they concluded it was mathematically impossible. The encryption was simply too complex. They filed the project away as unsolvable. France reached the same conclusion. So did every other intelligence service that examined Enigma. Everyone except Poland. 1929, Polish military intelligence takes a different approach. Instead of recruiting linguists and traditional codebreakers, they recruit mathematics students from Poznań University. 3 names: Marian Rejewski, Henryk Zygalski, and Jerzy Różycki. They're in their early 20s. None have formal cryptography training. They approach Enigma not as a language puzzle, but as a pure mathematics problem. British cryptographers had tried to decode messages by analyzing letter frequency and linguistic patterns. The Poles ignored the messages entirely and focused on the machine's internal wiring. Rejewski spent months creating equations that described how Enigma's rotors transformed letters. He used permutation theory, advanced mathematics that most cryptographers had never studied. He made assumptions British experts considered absurd, like assuming German operators were lazy and made predictable mistakes. He was right. German operators were lazy. 1932, Rejewski cracks Enigma's internal wiring configuration using only intercepted messages and mathematical deduction. He's never seen inside an actual military Enigma. He just calculated what the wiring must be. Then he does something the British never imagined. He builds a replica Enigma from scratch based on his equations. Polish engineers construct it in secret. Rejewski tests it against intercepted German messages. It works perfectly. For 7 years, Poland reads German military communications. Every troop movement, every strategic plan, every operational order. Hitler has no idea his unbreakable encryption is completely compromised. But there's a problem. Germany keeps improving Enigma. Each upgrade requires months of new mathematical analysis. By 1938, the Poles are struggling to keep up. German messages go dark for weeks at a time, while Rejewski's team races to solve new configurations. January 1939. Germany adds 2 additional rotors to military Enigma machines, increasing possible combinations from 105,456 to over 1 million. The Polish team calculates they'd need 60 replica machines running constantly to keep up with the new system. Poland can't build 60 machines. The country is broke. War is obviously coming. German troops are massing at the border. July 24-25, 1939. In a secret conference outside Warsaw, Polish intelligence does something unprecedented. They invite British and French cryptographers and reveal everything. The British delegation includes Alistair Denniston, head of the Government Code and Cipher School, later Bletchley Park. He's spent over a decade failing to break Enigma. Now he's watching 3 Polish mathematicians casually decode German messages in real time. The Poles hand over complete documentation, Rejewski's equations, wiring diagrams, replica Enigma machines, and their latest invention, the bomba kryptologiczna, an electromechanical device that automatically tests rotor configurations. Britain gets 7 years of Polish research for free. France gets the same and does nothing with it. 5 weeks later, Germany invades Poland. Rejewski, Zygalski, and Różycki flee to France with whatever documents they can carry. Here's what most people think happened. Alan Turing and Bletchley Park cracked Enigma through British genius and won World War II. Here's what actually happened. Turing took Polish mathematics, Polish methods, and Polish machines, then scaled them up using British industrial capacity. The famous Turing Bombe that decoded thousands of German messages daily? It's a direct evolution of the Polish bomba kryptologiczna. Turing made it faster and more efficient, but the fundamental concept came from Warsaw, not Bletchley. The statistical methods Bletchley used, based on Rejewski's permutation theory, the cribs and shortcuts that made decoding practical, Polish discoveries from analyzing lazy German operators. Don't misunderstand, Turing's contributions were brilliant and essential. He transformed Polish mathematical concepts into an industrial code-breaking system. He added innovations the Poles couldn't have developed. British engineering, manufacturing capacity, and resources made large-scale Enigma decryption possible. But the breakthrough, the proof that Enigma could be broken, came from 3 Polish mathematicians working in a country that would cease to exist within weeks. Rejewski, Zygalski, and Różycki continued working on German codes throughout the war, first in France, then Britain. After France fell, they remained unknown, classified. The Polish contribution stayed secret for 30 years after the war ended. When Britain finally declassified Enigma files in the 1970s, most credit went to Bletchley Park. Turing became a household name. Films were made, books written, statues erected. Rejewski died in 1980, largely unknown outside cryptography circles. Zygalski in 1978. Różycki drowned when his ship was torpedoed in 1942, his contributions still classified. The British had resources, industrial capacity, and the world's best cryptographers. The Poles had 3 math students and a country about to be erased from the map. Sometimes the impossible problem gets solved by the people who can't afford to believe it's impossible.